The telephone number 975822345. The fax number is 979847252. It's in Thompson. 800,000. That's all it is. And that's field and yeah, this is number 25. It's not made. 2152. Scary. UK authority. 60,000. His district, not the district. So it seems that the size is not be enough. 450. Save it again. Go back to the view. Yeah. C004. No, that's fine. Is the mission and excavation private limited. It's PO Box 343. So I'll give these different suburb to what they are in that table, because then I can teach you how to do a query on suburbs in the third exercise. So let's change its suburb Roselle again. 239. Who's the contact? It says T. Let's say this. Is at hotmail.com. His limit is 1.5 million. And he's operating on all areas. So this is So these are the 5 records, and yeah, I'll stop filling this table at this point, because we have 10 records in the table given, but I've used 5, and I made a one change here. I changed the suburb of Ace Demolition to Roselle. The reason is actually then we can see quite a good example in querying. So when we do query, so we'll be able to use these similar records to see how we can filter records using query option. So that's why I've done that. So basically, this table is complete at the moment. Now I save the table, and the next thing is you can close these objects. We call these tables, forms, or queries are objects in Access. You can close it. Now you have your table created in here. If you double click on this table, it will open up for you, and you can see the records in the table, right? We call it a database, right? Now close it and go back to the tutorial. Now the next task or the next exercise is we are going to learn how to create a form. Now I mentioned it earlier. Now form is like kind of a user interface where you can enter data for the specific field, so that it will take that data into the database and store, write that data into the particular database. So again, in Access, we call these forms an object field, right? Let's look at these menu bars. So we have 4 different menus here. One is form, next one is create, that's external data, and database tools. So we are not going to touch these options yet, but now we know what is behind the home button. The next one is create option. Now in this create menu, we have a few options. So if you look at, we have this table option. So you can come to create table here, and you could have started creating table from here as well. But when you open Access, so Access, once you selected the template, it gives us an option with pre-selected table, table 1. That's what we used so far, but we could have come here and use this table design to create the table as well. Now this is one object, and the next object is query, and the other object is the form. Now as the second exercise, we are going to learn how to create a form. Now in creating a form, we have 2 options. One is form design option, and other one is form wizard option. Now since we are beginners, this wizard option gives us a kind of a user-friendly approach. So click on form wizard. Now here, when we open this form wizard, it shows us what are the tables we have, right? Now, like I said, we want to create a form to enter information into our table. So we have only one table here. We could have created many tables, but so far we have one table in our database. That's company details, and you can see all the fields of our table here in this area. So now we can select what are the fields we want to have in our form screen or our form. So in this particular example, we want to feed all the records into table using a form, so that we would be selecting the total of the fields, the every field. Now, so since this is a wizard, we have to follow the options. Now, once we have selected or when we've chosen this, the number of fields we want to have in our form, then click the next button. In this option, we are asked to select a presentation for our form. For example, we can see them in a columnar structure or a tabular structure or a justified structure. You can change them and you can see. So we want to begin with this option, the column option. So select this column option and click next. And here we have to give our form a unique name. So this is a form, this is an object. So we are going to use this form to enter data into our content details table. So we can name our form as content details data form. So please follow the steps given in the document. So it says name this form as content details data form. Right? So don't bother about these options at the moment. Then finish it. Now, when you finish, when you click finish button, now you can see the first record of the table through the form object. Right? So now this is the form object. See, so we have a company ID, company name, and for every field option, we have these boxes where we can input data. And if you look at the size of these boxes, you can see they are in different sizes. If I ask you what is the what is the reason for this that we see different sizes of these option boxes is that you can remember we changed the character size for each data type for these fields. So that's why we see different sizes. But obviously, we can do formatting and we can change them later. So don't worry about that at the moment. Now, just understand that now we have created the form, and this form is one of the objects in Access. And through these forms, we can enter data. Now, how to navigate through the records? Now we can navigate through records using these arrow buttons. So we are now in the first record of the 5 records of the dark table. And if you click this right arrow button, you will see the second record, third, fourth, likewise. Now, when you click further, it will shows it shows an empty form where you can enter more data into this table. Now, as an exercise, we can try to keep the balance 5 records into this table using this form. So that is C006. Sorry. What is the company name? Action Cranes. And address is Homedale Road. You can see now these forms gives us more visibility, and it's quite user friendly. So that's why we want to use forms to enter data into tables. Right? And suburb is Bankstown. Postcode 200. Contact 1. 9122 9647. Track files. Area covered singularity. Suburb castle in 2154. That means war. Phone number 9685 6325 678 2547. SO at .com. Contract price is 40,000. Area covered, Hills District, Western District. Yes, likewise, you can enter data into these tables, right? So at any time, you can close these objects, and when you double click on the forms, you can open the object again on the main screen. So now we have learned how to create the form in our Access file. Now the next thing that we are going to learn is how to use query option and how to create an object, query object in Excel, Access, and what are the benefits of using query. Now again, to create a query, so what we have to do, we have to go to create tab and select either of these options, right? So I'll be going with query design, because we learn a few things while we will be creating a query rather than accepting all the options, right? So click on query. Now query means I mentioned it earlier. Now we can use queries to filter data from our tables, right? In this query option, you will see we can create queries based on table databases as well as on existing queries, right? If you have a number of queries, you can create more queries upon existing queries. And usually we'll be making queries using existing tables, right? In this particular example, we are going to create query using our content details table, right? Now, when you select query design, you can see this option. So you have select uh, uh, the database, the object type. So is it a table or a query, or you can select both. But here, since we don't have any existing queries, we are now using our content details table. Now select add. Now when you select add, you can this content details table with its field will appear on the canvas, and then close this window. So if you can't see all the fields, you can see this field. Now read the question file. So for this purpose, we have select um, uh, multiple fields. They are the company name, suburb, contact name, and phone number. So when you select them, they will come and be placed on this below table. You can expand the table using this using the cursor. Now we want to select number of fields. The first one is company name. So how to select the field? There are few options. So either you can drag and select, drag and drop that on the field name. Right? So what you have selected, the field is company name from the company details table. Or otherwise, you can also do that by double clicking. Let's see. And now the second field that we want to have in our query is suburb. So select suburb and double click on suburb. You can see our selection is going to appear in this table below. Likewise, then select contact name. That's the third field, and the phone number. Right? So now we have selected a number of fields for our query. So we can use these fields to filter records from the table. That's the idea. Right? Now, let's look at what we have in this table. Like I said, we have field. So this is what we selected. And from what database or table that you selected this field from. And thirdly, we have sort. We can sort these information in the query output. So in sorting, we have ascending and descending. Let's select ascending. Right? We can select ascending option. So we want to select ascending option for company name. Now we have done a simple query. So we will be retrieving information from our database. And based on this query, in this query, what we are going to see, we are not going to see all existing fields of the table. Rather, we will be seeing only 4 selected fields. Right? So let's run the query, and you will see. We will be only seeing these fields. Right? So we have to save this query again. When we save the query, so we need to give it a proper name. So use this the name suggested in the document, alphabetical listing of companies. And you can close this query. So this is the form, this is the query, this is the table. So we have created three different objects: one table, one query, and one form. Now again, if you want to change any thing of any of these objects, what you have to do is you have to select the object, then if you want to change anything in its design, then select what you want to change, the object that you want to change, and go to design view. See, in this design, that object in its design view, where you can make changes into the object and its structure and its contents. Now here I can see I have not included suburb in this, so I want to include suburb as well. Now again, save it and close it, and if you double click, now you can see the suburbs as well. And in terms of query, there are a lot of options. Now, if you want to, for example, if you want to retrieve um, information uh, of these companies from a specific or selected suburb, we can change our query options. So how can we do that? We want to select this one. We can save this query as a new object. Go to file menu. Here you can see save object as. Now I'm going to save this as a query, and I want to change its name. Let's listing of companies on suburbs. So this is not there in your question paper, so I'm just showing you how to create a query as a copy of an existing query and make changes to query and keep it as a new query. Let's do that. And once you've done that, see, you have this the second one, and if you open, it's still the same as the previous one, or exact copy of alphabetical listing of companies query, but I want to change the query options. So this is what I'm going to do. I will select the design option here. Now I want to pick certain companies from a certain suburb. Now you would be seeing in the fifth row, there's an option called criteria. Now if you change this criteria, for example, you can change this criteria by typing the suburb that you want to see. Let's say Roselle. Because we had two records for Roselle. Now, if you write Roselle, so that's the criteria, then run the record, you can see all the records from this particular suburb. Now you can save. So we have two queries. Now, for example, if you click this query, it will give you the list of companies in alphabetical order. Right. And if you click the next query, it will show us the companies from this suburb process. Now, if you want another query, you can make the query more advanced. Let's say that we don't want these companies from a particular suburb. Rather, we want to choose a suburb and we want to see all the companies from the selected suburb. So how can we do that? Right? This access option provides us some options for that as well. Let's see how can we do that. Now, again, you can select query and you can change the object. You can make a copy of that object, and actually this should be, I would write this Roselle, and now we have three, right? Rather three. One is we can see listing of companies from Roselle, so it is on, and as listing of companies on suburbs. Now pick this one, listing of companies on suburbs. Actually, this is what we use to see all the companies from Roselle, but I want to change the design or the structure of this query so that I can request access to show me companies from any suburb that I want. Right now, go to the design and this is what I want. Do this one. Instead of writing Roselle, you can write select within a square bracket, right? Select the suburb. And if you run this, see, it asks you to enter suburb. Let's try Roselle. Now it will show us this one. So this is how we can customize our queries, right? So and if you save and close the object, now you can see we have content details table, and we have created this form where we can enter information using this form into the database. Then we created 3 queries and we learn how to create queries, right? And the last one is the most advanced type of query where you write suburb. It will give you all the suburbs from your selection. So that's the third part of the tutorial. I think I covered everything. Again, I want to summarize what we've done today. We discussed about MS Access and its users, and we discussed a few things about the similarities or the differences about these two options, Excel and Access. And in this tutorial, we learned how to create a simple database, and how to create a form for data entry, and how to use the query object option in Access to retrieve data from existing databases. And we discussed few options relating to query option in Access. So that's all for this tutorial number 1. And in the next 2 tutorials, we'll be learning how to format these forms and objects, and how to create more objects like tables, more tables, number of multiple tables and multiple queries, multiple forms, and how to produce reports on databases using queries, and as well as we'll be learning how to work with number of different databases together using relational database technique. So that's all for today's tutorial, and thank you for watching.